Hello, welcome to News from the Natural World. I'm Savtiri D. By 2080, around 70% of the world's oceans could be suffocating from a lack of oxygen as a result of climate change, potentially impacting marine ecosystems worldwide, according to a new study. The new models find mid-ocean depths that support many fisheries worldwide are already losing oxygen at unnatural rates and passed a critical threshold of oxygen loss in 2021. The researchers found that oceans closer to the poles, like the West and North Pacific and the Southern Oceans, are particularly vulnerable to deoxygenation. They're not yet sure why, although accelerated warming could be the culprit. Areas in the tropics known for having low levels of dissolved oxygen, called oxygen minimum zones, also seem to be spreading. A new study of language tasks reveals brains of older people are not slower, but rather wiser than young brains, allowing older adults to achieve an equivalent level of performance. It was already known that aging is not necessarily associated with a significant loss in cognitive function. When it comes to certain tasks, the brains of older adults can achieve very close to the same performance as those of younger ones, explained lead scientist Dr. Monchi. We now have neurobiological evidence showing that with age comes wisdom, and that as the brain gets older, it learns to better allocate its resources. A new study involving more than 100 scientists from across the globe and the largest forest database yet assembled estimates there are about 73,000 tree species on Earth, including about 9,200 species yet to be discovered. The global estimate is about 14% higher than the current number of known tree species. Most of the undiscovered species are likely to be rare, with very low populations and limited spatial distribution, the study shows. That makes the undiscovered species especially vulnerable to human-caused disruptions such as deforestation and climate change, according to the study authors, who say the new findings will help prioritize forest conservation efforts. A single flash of lightning in the United States nearly 2 years ago cut across the sky for nearly 500 miles, setting a new world record. The new record for the longest detected mega flash was measured in the southern United States on April 29, 2020, stretching 477 miles across Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas. That is equivalent to the distance between New York City and Columbus, Ohio, or between London and the German city of Hamburg. The temperature in northern Antarctica hit nearly 65 degrees Fahrenheit, a likely heat record on the continent best known for snow, ice, and penguins. The reading was taken on January 27th at the Esperanza Research Base in Argentina. The research base sits on a peninsula that juts up toward the southern tip of South America, almost 5.4 degrees Fahrenheit, according to the World Meteorological Organization. Scientists have triggered long-term growth of legs in adult frogs, which are naturally unable to regenerate their own limbs. The frogs regrew a lost leg over months, triggered by just 24-hour exposure to a 5-drug cocktail held under a bioreactor. The new legs were functional enough to enable sensation and locomotion. A person's appreciation of nature and their tendency to visit natural spaces are heritable characteristics, according to a large-scale study of twins in the United Kingdom. Attachment and appreciation of nature seems to be as influenced by genes as by regular exposure to nature. Biologists have found an animal that communicates with nearly the complexity of human language, song sparrows. According to a new study, male song sparrows memorize a 30-minute-long combination of their recently sung tunes and use that information to curate both their current songfest and the next one. The findings suggest that song sparrows deliberately shuffle and repeat their songs, possibly to keep a female's attention. Song sparrows are a common songbird throughout North America, but only the males sing. They use their song to defend their turf and court mates. The researchers found that the more a sparrow sang a given song, the longer he took to get back to that song, possibly to build up hype and novelty once that song was sung again. New research indicates that a common mosquito species, after detecting a telltale gas that we exhale, flies towards specific colors, including red, orange, black, and cyan. The mosquitoes tend to ignore other colors, such as green, purple, blue, and white. The researchers believe these findings help explain how mosquitoes find hosts, since human skin, regardless of overall pigmentation, emits a strong red-orange signal to their eyes. An 8% increase in summer air conditioning demand can be expected in the U.S. when the global average temperature exceeds 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. This climate-driven increase is likely to cause prolonged blackouts during peak summer heat if states do not expand capacity or improve efficiency, according to a new study of household-level demand. Greenland's immense ice sheet has lost enough ice in the past 20 years to submerge the entire United States in half a meter of water, according to data released this week by Danish researchers. As scientists investigate reasons for America's persistent gender wage gap, one possible explanation that has emerged in roughly the last decade is that women may be less competitive than men, and are therefore passed over for higher-ranking roles with larger salaries. A new study suggests that it's likely not that simple. Researchers found that women enter competitions at the exact same rate as men, but only when they have the option to share their winnings with the losers. Women are still paid only 98 cents for every dollar earned by men, 2% less than a man with the same qualifications. Deforestation in the Brazilian Amazon set a new record for January, just 3 weeks into the year, according to data released this week, a worrying sign of the surging destruction of the world's biggest rainforest. The United States Department of Interior is spending $1.15 billion to cap abandoned oil and gas wells across the United States. There are over 3 million abandoned oil and gas wells in the U.S. Interior officials say that wells have been exposing millions of people to air and water pollution for decades. Much of the funding is focused on plugging wells in communities of color and in rural and tribal communities. Coral reefs that anchor a quarter of marine wildlife and the livelihoods of more than 500 million people will most likely be wiped out even if global warming is capped within the Paris climate goals, researchers said this week. And now, the sounds of extinction. The golden-rumped elephant shrew, also known as the golden-rumped elephant sengi, is found in the northern coastal areas in and around Arabuko-Sokoke National Park in Kenya. Its name derives from the conspicuous golden fur on its hindquarters, distinctive golden coloration on its rump, and grizzled gold forehead contrasting with its dark reddish-brown color. Like other elephant sengi, this species has a long and flexible snout. They mate year-round. Females give birth to one young in an approximate 42-day cycle. The newborn offspring are usually ready to leave the mother's den after 2 weeks, and it takes approximately 5 days after leaving the nest for them to become fully independent in the wild. The golden-rumped elephant sengi is a diurnal animal which lives in densely vegetated forests, avoiding clear and open areas to help protect themselves from predators. Golden-rumped sengi build up to 6 nests at a time, alternating nests every night to leave no pattern for hunting predators to follow. Their diet consists of invertebrates such as earthworms, millipedes, insects, and spiders. They root through leaf litter for 80% of their day looking for grasshoppers, beetles, spiders, and other small invertebrates. The sengi is fast, capable of running up to 25 kilometers an hour. The golden-rumped elephant sengi is classified as endangered largely due to a fragmented forest environment and anthropogenic factors. Sengi are known to make elaborate foot drumming patterns, especially when afraid or in defense. And hear the sound of the golden-rumped elephant sengi foot drumming.